So, just wanted to share a little perspective on what I think about enlightenment as a spiritual goal. A lot of you might be familiar with him, and a lot of you might not be familiar with him. There's this guy known as J. Krishnamurti. This is his book, and I have been reading him for quite a while now, and I have been listening to his lectures. I wouldn't call them lectures, but his talks, you know, the videos in which he talks about how do you understand yourself, how do you solve a lot of these problems that we keep having repeatedly. And there's this question of enlightenment, right? That eventually we assume that all spirituality is ultimately headed towards a goal, and the goal is enlightenment. And enlightenment is basically a state where you will not experience suffering, to put it very simply. Krishnamurti is very anti spiritual in that sense that he never talks about enlightenment. And even if he talks about enlightenment, he will talk about it in a way that you will lose all interest in the very idea of becoming enlightened in the first place. Because he will tell you that enlightenment is not, it's not even real, it's not there. Stop chasing it. And that's completely opposite from what people normally do and what normally happens in a spiritual inquiry or a process. And so Krishnamurti will tell you things like observe what's happening right now, don't think about enlightenment. It's a way to reconnect you to the present moment and actually see what's going on. Because enlightenment is actually your ego projecting into the future a desirable outcome, a result that, oh, once I do this or do that, eventually I will arrive at some finality, some final destination. And there's no final destination. You can just keep going and going all the way. It's never going to come. And that's Krishnamurti's, this old guy's thesis. One of my favorite. I wouldn't call him an author because he's not an author. He has not written any books. But I suggest anybody who is interested to understand themselves and the spiritual path, although it's not really a path, but for lack of a better word, please consider reading him. I think we haven't given enough uh, attention to this guy, and we should be, because there is a difference between chasing after fairy tales and actually arriving at truth.